Moving from insecure attachment to secure attachment, there are many areas of our lives that we can utilize some tools so that we're able to move to where we want to be. It's not just one aspect of our life, there's many. And this time we're going to talk about healing past wounds. So how can we do this? How can we heal past wounds and move forward at the same time? Well, many insecure attachment patterns do stem from our childhood experiences. If you feel that you have an insecure attachment right now in your relationships, perhaps you can look back into your childhood and you can pinpoint where that all started from. So the roots of insecure attachment are often planted in early life and in the ways we were or weren't nurtured, soothed, and emotionally supported. You may have grown up in a household where love felt very conditional and where emotions were unsafe or they were ignored, and where caregivers were inconsistent or unavailable to you. And these early dynamics shape our internal blueprint for connection. So if you think of it as roots, right, in a tree, really the roots is what feeds the tree. It gives it life and is the base for any, tree or plant out there. And they're usually pretty strong, especially if they've been growing for 20 years. So when we're in our childhood, we live 18 years usually in one pattern. And a lot of times we mirror that. So maybe we spend an extra 10 decades. So if you think about a tree that has been growing for 30 years, think about their root base and how strong that is. And then think about when you're trying to dig it up and perhaps remove it, there's a lot of effort and work that goes into that, correct? And that's what we're doing for our own selves, for our own mind, for our subconsciousness, right? For our body language and body movement and body reactions. We're basically taking away roots that have been rooted for decades and we're replacing these with something new. So these experiences can lead to beliefs like, I have to be perfect to be loved. If I get too close, I'll be hurt, and people always leave. So without healing, these beliefs often become unconscious filters for us, impacting how we show up in relationships, and even they're going to last long after our childhood has ended and we moved out of our parents' home. Acknowledging that your attachment patterns have a history is the first step to changing them. You're not broken at all. You're responding to old wounds that were never yours to carry in the first place, right? That speaks to generational trauma right there. So why does this matter? You can't change the past, but you can understand how it shaped you. And more importantly, you can choose how you're going to shape your future. So what's another area that we can utilize healing past wounds? So therapy, of course. And what types of therapy specifically? Well, you have attachment focused, you have trauma informed, or you have inner child work. And these can help to address our old wounds. And so healing insecure attachment isn't about simply thinking positively, right? Like thinking positively is really great and I'm behind that. I love that. But that's not the only thing to healing us on the inside. Or reading a self-help book, it often requires deep guided support. And therapy provides a space where old relational wounds can be seen, they can be validated, and then they slowly reworked through relational repair and emotional regulation. So what are these therapies? So attachment-focused therapy is going to help you understand your relational patterns and work directly with the roots of those behaviors in a safe environment. Your trauma-informed therapy acknowledges that emotional neglect, abandonment, or inconsistency is a form of trauma, and it helps you regulate your nervous system and process stuck survival responses like fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And then inner child work. That's going to invite you to reparent the younger parts of who you were left to figure out all alone. You begin to offer yourself the safety, the love, and the nurturance that you didn't receive at the time, in our childhood. So these modalities help you shift from self-protection to self-connection, and eventually to relational connection with others who are safe and secure. And remember, that's not like everybody in our life, right? That's going to be a few select people that we can have these safe, secure relationships with. So why does this matter? Well, healing isn't just intellectual, it's experiential. And therapy provides that safety and that guidance to explore those painful places you've been avoiding and to release the belief that you have to face it all alone. When it comes to therapy, I always like to point out, you need that therapeutic relationship. So hopefully you can find a therapist that offers that for you, that offers that safe space. And of course, if you don't, because not every therapist works with all of us well, right? Go find a new one. It's okay. Every good therapist should want you to be with somebody that you can share your past wounds so that you can heal. And then what's the last area that we can utilize this healing past wounds? Well, we can recognize that the past does not have to define our future relationships, and it's a powerful step toward healing. So it's easy for us to feel trapped in old patterns, especially when you've repeated the same dynamics over and over again, right? So we're talking 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades. But healing begins the moment you realize that your past experiences do not have to become your future experiences, and that your past experiences are no longer serving you in your current relationships or your future relationships. And so, how can we do this? Well, awareness creates choice for us. Because if we aren't aware, we're not sure we have choices, but we really do have choices. So once you become aware of your patterns, you gain the power to pause, reflect, and choose a new way forward. You begin to trust that even though you were hurt, you can now build relationships with people who treat you with respect, care, and consistency. And this doesn't mean that you can pretend that the past didn't happen, of course. It just means that you're honoring the pain, but you're not handing it the pen to write your future. So practice affirmations like this. My history doesn't define my worth. I'm allowed to have new experiences. I can learn to love and be loved in a new way. So why does this matter? Well, secure attachment isn't about never being wounded, right? It's about knowing that these wounds no longer get to control your life. And you're capable of creating a new story. We get every day to do this. And one rooted in trust, truth, and in connection. And then your journey from insecure to secure attachment is not about fixing who you are. It's about remembering who you've always been beneath those wounds. So you've always been worthy. You've always been lovable, and you've always been capable of connection. So healing the past doesn't erase it, but it frees you to live from a place of choice rather than protection. And I always like to say there's really is a fine line, right? We want to live in the present moment, because that's the moment where things are going on, things are happening. We're happy here. If we live too much in the past, then that can cause some anxiety, some fear, maybe some depression. And if we live too much in the future, again, that can cause fear and anxiety and depression as well. And so we need to explore the past so that we're able to live in the present and have a better future. And I think that's how those 3 things can navigate themselves. And so we're here at the comment section. Drop a comment below. Are you healing from past wounds? How's this going for you? Is it super hard? Is it easy? I know for a lot of people that when we start healing from past wounds, sometimes we have to take these in bites, because it can bring up experiences we've had in childhood that bring up a lot of trauma, and we have to kind of process that before we can move on and heal from some different wounds that we've had in our childhood. So drop a comment below and let's get the conversation started.